presented the Jackie Gleason Show. And away we go! How sweet it is!
Oh, way to go, Johnny. There he is, our orchestra leader, Sammy Spears. I feel great. You know, I found a new thing to keep you in the best of health. And when you drink as much coffee as I do, you gotta stay in good shape, you know. This thing is called isometrics. The woman just laughed that this is really a great way to exercise, isometrics. What it is pressure against pressure. That's the whole secret of the thing. And you don't have to run around a park or lift things or anything to do this. You can sit in your chair and do these exercises. Now, I sit in my chair. And for instance, I push down like this. Are you watching this? Then I let go. And I'm a little winded now from doing it. But what it is, the pressure down like that strengthens the arms. Now get this next exercise, this one. Now, you lean back. Oh, now that strengthens your back. Now, you hook your fingers onto the arms of the chairs and you pull up. Now that strengthens your legs. What a dirty mind this audience has. Now, believe me, these look like simple exercises, but they work. I have the strongest chair that you've ever seen. Of many Americans is losing weight. The American Scene magazine now shows you one solution to the diet problem offered by a refrigerator company. Gentlemen, tonight we continue our talent quest, and here he is, our ambassador to talent, Georgie Jessup.
Well, yes. A little orange juice. Oh, gosh. You know, it's a wonderful thing to show that you have everything that you can think of. It is typically the picture, the American magazine. I was looking at those beautiful girls, and one thought came to my mind, Jackie. Gee, I wish I were 30 years older. Then I wouldn't care.
Let's hear about Cleveland.
Yes, that's where I found this lovely girl in Cleveland.
It's a great time.
It is.
I love Cleveland.
I love Cleveland, and of course, I'm at that stage of my life where it's memory, you know. It's panoramas all before me the years back. I played in Cleveland. Well, Grover Cleveland was in the band. You have an idea how... I played the Hippodrome Theater. That was the largest vaudeville theater in America. Sometimes when business was bad in the balcony, there were deer and wild geese in the balcony. The clothes, they got together, did a vaudeville like deer and geese.
I remember them very well.
Interesting things happened.
They had a foul act.
Yes. And,
well, you know, this isn't written. We're just...
Now I think you can leave the product joke in, too.
I think we can leave the building after that.
Anyhow, this gambler told me a very interesting story. You know, gambling is a fever with some people. They just want to gamble, they forget everything else. And this fellow was a Hungarian. And he lived, not in Hungary, but he lived in England. And every weekend he would travel from England on a boat to Bordeaux in the south of France. And he'd gamble on anything. Jackie, the turn of a card, the throw of a dice, he'd gamble. So he got on the boat this day, and he went up to the captain. Good morning, Captain. I'm Mr. Skolnick, yes. He says, tell me, Captain, how do you think will be the weather on that voyage? And the captain said, I think we'll have very clear sailing. And the Hungarian said, I don't think so. So the captain said, well, I've been navigating these seas for some 30-odd years, and we'll have a calm voyage. I don't think so, said the Hungarian. He said, I'll bet you 10 pounds we'll have a big fat storm in an hour. Well, the captain took the bet, and sure enough, within the hour, the sea swelled, a big fat storm, captain paid the bet. Now the Hungarian says, Captain, what's going to be the eating tonight? And the captain said, we're having some wonderful Irish corned beef. And the Hungarian says, I don't think so. So the captain says, well, I think so. I've just come from the galley, and the chef has been with me for years. He says, Royce, I'm betting you 15 pounds wouldn't have the corned beef. Sure enough, within a half hour. Chef came up and said something happened to the meat, contaminated, going to have sardines. Well, this Hungarian beat the captain out of about 10, 12 bets. They landed at Bordeaux, and the captain said, are you coming back with us, Mrs. Scott? He said, no, I'm going back on a different ship, the Eclipse, tomorrow. And the captain said, okay, and he told this captain of the Eclipse, beware of that Hungarian, he'll bet you on anything. And the next day, the Skolnick got on the second ship. Good morning, Captain. He said, good morning, yes, Skolnick, yes. He said, how are you feeling, Captain? Captain said, I feel fine. Hungarian said, I don't think so. So the captain said, well, I'm happy to say I've been enjoying good health for more than 25 years. I don't think so, said Hungarian. I'm betting you 50 pounds, it says, that you got tinsels. In the tinsels, you got a sickness. So the captain says, no, I don't have any sickness in my tonsils at all. So let me ask you something. When you swallow, it hurts you, don't you? And the captain said, no, it doesn't hurt me at all. I swallow. He says, 50 pounds, you got the bad tinsels. Played the bet. The captain sent for the surgeon. Surgeon came up, looked down the captain's throat. Nothing wrong with the captain's tonsils. And the guy said, well, I'm betting 50 pounds. I like to look myself. Put his hand down the captain's throat. Paid the bet. Now, they arrived back in England. The first captain meets the second captain. Says, what happened to the Hungarian? Tells him the story. My goodness, he says, he bet me 100 pounds he'd have his hand down your throat a half hour after you left port.
Tonight, the American Scene magazine pays tribute to one of the bravest and most fearless of all public servants, the fireman. He risks his life 24 hours a day protecting your lives, homes, and property. We now show you a case in point.
Oh. There. Oh.
Oh.
Did you burn your finger, lover?
Yes, baby, do.
Oh, kissy boo-boo. Better?
Betty. Oh, dear, it must have been the match I threw.
Oh.
We'd better phone the fire department.
Oh, but that isn't necessary, sweetheart. The fire department's right across the street.
Oh, good thinking. Help! Fire! Help!
Tell them which apartment, baby.
10th floor, penthouse. Hurry! Down.
All right. This where the fire is?
Yes.
Stand back. Now where's the fire? There it is! Well, folks, you're very fortunate. No water damage.
That wasn't the fire.
What do you mean it wasn't a fire? I ought to know what a fire looks like. I'm a fire chief. What do you think I'm wearing this white hat for? To sell good humors?
But those were the candles. The fire is over there.
Oh, the fire?
Yeah.
first, let's get a few facts.
Well,
How did the fire start?
Well, what difference does that make? Just put it out.
What difference does it make? It makes a lot of difference. How did the fire start?
well, you see, my husband was lighting the candles in honor of our anniversary dinner, and I think he threw the match in there.
You think he threw the match in there? That's the trouble we run into all the time. You thought he threw the match in there. Couldn't have been a spark that jumped off a lamp or something? Have you ever checked your wiring? I'll check it. That's probably what the trouble is here.
But I...
Wait a minute here. That's okay up to there. Now, wait a minute. We'll tear it out of here. Stand back, Ringo, and check it. Madam, you're lucky. Your wiring's perfect. This looks like a job for the elite squad. I'll have to call the big boys. Out of the way, buddy.
Right.
Okay, Charlie. Out of the way there. Hello there. Hello. Hello. Break up the card game and get up here. There's a big conflagration going on the 10th floor. Righto.
But it's just an itsy-poo fire. I don't see any...
What was that, Ringo? Better get up here quick. They're going panicky. There they are, my boys. Check the bedroom. Anything going on in there?
There's no fire in the bedroom, Chief.
Oh.
But I had a tough time with the bed. What is it made out of, oak or something?
Sometimes they prove a little difficult. Check the kitchen.
Okay, Chief.
But I don't think that's the fire.
Okay, fellas. What'd you find?
Good luck in the kitchen, Chief.
Luck can mean only one thing. The fire is right here in this room. Everybody will have to evacuate. You first, Ringo.
But there's no way...
Okay, pal, up and out.
You mean jump?
Certainly I mean jump.
But I can't jump down there.
There's a nest down there. Get going, get going.
I really don't want...
Get down there, Ringo. Okay, Clarabelle, let's go. What do you mean you couldn't? You look like another blimp going over Miami. Get out. You're not going to a dance. Here she goes. Now, don't take a flying leap. Just jump down. We lose more nuts that way. There's the fire! There's the fire! Get me some water, quick! It's fucking brigade work. What Smokey the Bear is to forest fires, we're to wastebasket fire.
Who can have this beautiful?
Many years
years ago in the city of Salem, Massachusetts, people actually believed in witches and swore that they saw them riding through the sky on brooms. Today, of course, very few people believe in witches. However, there are some who say they still travel through the skies, but in a more modern way. What you have? Same thing? Right up, pal. Judy, Judy, jow, 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 zoom. Chopped it right at the top. Well, how you been, Don? Me, you know, sitting around here all day doing nothing, reading this magazine. You got a thing in here, an article about the traffic. You know, it's getting murder in New York. It says how all of these people get out of work at 5 o'clock, you know, and they drive home, and there's that big rush hour traffic. Well, this guy come up with an idea. He says, let everybody out of work at 6 o'clock. Got an item here about an electronic machine. Can do the work of 20 secretaries. Sure gonna be a lot of dull office parties. Craze? Oh, he's in the back. I'll call him out. Hey, Craze!
Hey, Joe. Hello, Mr. Dane. Oh, boy, Joe. I just saw the cutest thing on the corner of Salem and Highland Avenue. 2 Boy Scouts helped a little old lady across the street. Really cute. Only took them an hour and a half.
Took them an hour and a half? Why?
She didn't want to go. Boy, did you miss out on another blow-up last week, Joe? It was the annual get-together of the graduating class of 32 from PS 73. That's public school 73.
I know.
And it was held right in the heart of Manhattan. That's the heart of New York City, Joe. What a classy affair. The whole gang met at the Waldorf Astoria. Yeah. It was more convenient there. Then we only had to walk 8 blocks to the ballroom. Yeah, it was over on 10th Avenue. It was called Callahan's 10th Avenue Temple of Tempo and Terpsichore. The Smiling Sons of the Friendly Shillelaghs rented the ballroom from the DDODND. And they were all...
Wait a minute. DDODND. What does that mean?
That's the Darling Daughters of Dublin near Donegal. That's in the heart of Ireland, Joe. There it is in the heart of...
I know where it is!
Boy, we got a good bargain on the ballroom because the Darling Daughters of Dublin near Donegal, they got stuck with the rental on account of the change in their itinerary. Itinerary, meaning Rody. They had to change the plan. Joe, what a party it was. It really was a terrific reunion party. And everybody who was at the party was there. And the food was beautiful. Moriarty, the undertaker, said, hey, this food is beautiful. What's for dessert? And Fatso Fogarty says, we're getting a classy dessert. I sure hope you like crepe Suzette. Moriarty says, I don't know anything about Suzette. I'm just nuts about crepe. And then the dance started. Everybody started dancing. And I was just hanging around. I wasn't doing nothing. I didn't feel like doing nothing. Muriel Bushkirk was just hanging around. She wasn't doing nothing either. She noticed all the guys getting up and dancing with their wives. And her eyes got a little misty eyes. She got a tear in her eye. And she said, hey, crazy. I said, who? She said, you. I said, me? She said, yeah. I said, no. I said, my mind is made up, Craig. Before this year is over, I'm getting married. I said, that's terrific, Muriel. I'm proud of you. Proud of you. Are you getting married for love or money? She says, I'm getting married for hate. I said, what do you mean you're getting married for hate? She says, I'm hating being single.
There's action for the SWAT team when they are called to investigate the murders of 3 young men tomorrow night at 5. Then at 6, watch Hawaii Five-0. The gates open with harness racing.
From Miami Beach, the sun and fun capital of the world, it's the Jackie Gleason Show. And away we go! How sweet it is!
Well, I'm telling you, I feel great tonight. Oh, no. Ladies and gentlemen, there he is, our orchestra leader, Sammy Spear. Take it on. I want to tell you, Sam, I've seen you look lovely before, but tonight, this is it. That jacket looks like Tonto's toupee. That's really his hunting jacket. Whenever he puts it on, somebody takes a shot at him. But you look lovely, Sam. Girls, will you bring it out? Put it right there. Thank you. Oh. There we go. There they go. 3 long-stemmed American roses. And here I am, a potted plant. I feel good, though. You know, I want to tell you something. Miami Beach is the place of all places. Take my word for it, this is the greatest... Not only is this the tourist capital of the world, but it's now becoming the honeymoon capital of the world. All honeymooners are coming down here for their honeymoon. And it's wonderful. I read about a couple in New York, a man 95 years old, married a woman 93. And they came down here for a 2-week honeymoon. Unfortunately, it took them 2 weeks to get out of the car. I got to tell you what happened to me the other night. Wow. What are they putting in that coffee? I was so aggravated the other night, Sam. I went to a movie and I sat down And a guy next to me says, would you mind my seat? So I said, all right. Now, I had to get, I was sitting on the aisle. I had to get up and let him through. 15 minutes later, he came back. He says, can I get in there again? I had to get up and let him in. He says, what did I miss? So I told him everything he missed. Now, he's watching the picture. He said, could I go? I got to go to the popcorn stand. So I said, all right. I got up and let him through. He come back, sat down again. I had to get up. What did I miss? I told him. He said, I have to go to the popcorn stand. I got up again. He went, come back, sat down for the third time. He says, could I get through? I want to go to the... I said, look, nobody can eat that much popcorn. He says, who's eating it? I run the stand. Those kind of guys, Sam, should be sent far. They should be put on a boat, sent out to sea, never to return.
And away we go!
happy to be here, although I don't enjoy looking like this. I went to the beauty parlor again today. They're nothing but failures. He doesn't set my hair, he tosses it. But I adore my work. I just love it, except, of course, the lights scare me. Ugh. See, when I was a housewife, if I ever had that much light on me, when I woke up, I had another kid. But anyway, I had no background for motherhood either. I'd never seen a live baby, and when they brought this thing in, I didn't know what it was. I didn't like its looks. They're trying to say it's a new baby. It looked used. You know, they're pushing pretty hard. They say, well, it's a cute little monkey. I said, it may be a cute little monkey. It's a very ugly baby. So they insisted I had to take it. They said it went with the room. So they taught me how to oil the darn thing. You gotta oil it every day. Now, a car, you oil it once a month, and it runs great. And we wanted a car. So now we got all of these dumb kids. I named them all Kid. Well, I had to keep it simple for Fang. But they have different first names like Hey Kid, You Kid, Dumb Kid. And then there's Son of Fang. But if I just had one smart kid, but they're all... One is 24. You ready for that? I think it's a terrible thing to have a baby when you're 12. And he is so dumb. When he was 8, we gave him a banjo. He thought it was a tennis racket. And what do you tell a kid who's clear up to the semifinals? And then the twins are 18 and 20. I'll never forget that birth. And then we have this one beautiful daughter of 10, a widow. And she is going through a stage I may not live through. Whenever I go home, and I try not to go there, they bore me. Well, they're always making demands. They want lunch, dinner, all that mess. Listen, I'm busy. So when I go home, she plays secretary. And the last time I was home, she answers the door and the phone botches it. I'm in the kitchen trying to get the rest of the ketchup out of the bottle, all right? The kid goes to the door. It's the president of the PTA. Now, you know, this has got to be about the squarest broad in town. And I am not in too good with the PTA. Ever since I baked him a paperweight. In fact, just the other day, Fang came into the kitchen, and he doesn't come in there too often because he's afraid of rats. But he came in at noon because he knows they eat out. Do you know, there isn't a person in our family that has the guts to eat raisin toast.
Teenagers have always been famous for their long telephone conversations. Some teenagers have been known to talk on the phone for hours and hours. Recently, the American Scene magazine heard of one teenager in Morristown, New Jersey, who has literally broken the world's record for long telephone conversations.
My tie? Oh, yeah. I don't understand why this should happen. I spent enough for it. 28 cents. Go ahead, honey. Gotta admit, I'm lovely. Towny town, yep, towny town. Toodaloo-doo-doo-doo-doo, boom. That's the cleanest fingernail in town, Dunny. Nothing. Just sitting around, reading the American Scene magazine. My favorite thing in here, Dear Miss Fairfax. Get a load of this. Dear Miss Fairfax, my husband always used to kiss my hands, but lately he stopped. Can you think of a reason for this? Signed, Unhappy Housewife. Dear Unhappy Housewife, your husband probably doesn't kiss your hands because he doesn't want to get dishpan lips. Oh, yeah, he's in the back. I'll call him out. Hey, Fred!
Hi, Joe. Hello, Mr. Dennehy. Hey, Joe, I've been studying real, true-to-life stories, authentic, with real pictures about historic events. I got it off my little boy's bubblegum wrappers. I just finished the story of Henry Hudson and the Northwest Passage. It was terrific, Joe. Henry Hudson lived in Holland because he was a native-born Hollandese. But he was a very stingy guy, Joe. He lived on a street called Separate Checks. It was a Dutch street. One afternoon, Henry Hudson was just hanging around the windmill. He wasn't doing nothing. He didn't feel like doing nothing, Joe. Just hanging around, doing nothing. Once in a while, he'd get up and plant a tulip, or practice sticking his finger in the dike, or take off his wooden shoes and pick the splinters out of his feet. And his mother walks up to him one afternoon and she says, "Henry Hudson, baby." Instead of you hanging around doing nothing, why don't you all get on a boat and go discover the Northwest Passage, baby? He said, "But Mother, where's the Northwest Passage?" She said, "How do I know? It ain't been discovered yet." He was very smart, Joe. He said, "But Mother, I couldn't do that. I don't have any money for a boat or a crew to sail the wide ocean in mighty blue and all that kind of stuff there." She said, "What you ought to do is go right to Queen Isabella. All those other explorers took from her." And he followed his mother's advice. With a lunchbox, he went right down the subway. And he went right straight down to his travel agent. His travel agent says, "I've got a terrific bargain for you. It's a cruise to the Northwest Passage on the SS Hobo." That's a tramp steamer. And it's got got everything, and it'll cost you 38 guilder and 50 cents, and it's all inconclusive. And Henry says, oh, yeah? But what does it include? And the agent said, the first thing it includes is you. And Henry says, that's fair, I'll take it. And he did. They sailed for 40 days and 40 nights on the ocean. And finally, they sighted land. And they pulled ashore. And all the natives came down to the beach to greet them, Joe. They were redskins. As far as the eye could see along the shore, they were redskins. By mistake, they landed in Miami Beach.